Mr. Jennings?
Here.
Mr. DiBiaseu?
Here.
Mr. Beegan?
Here.
Ms. Menard? Father J? Dr. Nera?
Yes, we have a quorum. In accordance to Massachusetts General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 20F, any member of the public may make an audio or video recording of this public meeting. A member of the public who wishes to record a meeting must first notify the chair not to interfere with the unreasonable requirements regarding audio or video equipment established by a chair, not to interfere with the meeting. Anybody recording?
Mr. Manos?
All right, pledge allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Need a motion to approve the March 14, 2024.
So moved.
Need a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We have a student report?
We do not.
We do not.
Good evening, everyone. Yes,
Oh, he's there.
2 quick points. Yeah, 2 quick points from our student representative who could not make it tonight. Since the last meeting, the student government and students from all 4 grade levels are looking to organize a student voice forum and release a video that we made called I Am More with the hashtag I Am More. It will be a PSA to stop bullying and hate, along with some other initiatives that we're working on this spring. But a student voice forum is coming up. And the second other thing is good luck to all of our spring sports teams as the spring season has begun.
Very good. Thank you. Any questions, comments? Anybody for citizens input?
I do not.
Okay, we have no unfinished new business. New matters, 3.1, Health First presentation.
Yes, members of the school committee, very happy to continue the partnership and to continue explaining about the partnership that we have with Health First here from Fall River. I'm very happy to have with us tonight to give us a firsthand review of how it has been so far is Dr. Eric Thorpe. He's going to do a very small presentation just to bring the committee up to speed.
Thank you, Mr. President. So I did come bearing gifts for the committee, so I'll leave these here for you guys to begin from Health First. So I'm Eric Voc, I'm the Chief Medical Officer over at Health First. I see the school-based health center as really just a continuation of the partnership that we've had with Diman School. We've had many of the dental assistant and medical assistant students throughout the years at our facility, and so out of just the needs of the community and seeing that adolescent care is often overlooked in our community, this became a great opportunity for a partnership and to be able to bring school-based services and health services up here to the school itself. We did open the school-based health center, which took many months of working with the Department of Public Health to get the space approved, but we did finally get approval at the end of February. We opened the doors to the students the first week of March. We've seen 28 students so far for a variety of acute and chronic illnesses, along with some sports physicals for spring sports. So I think it's been a good start to the process. We've talked with the staff about ways that we can continue to get the word out to the students, to the parents, and really see this expand as we move towards the fall and continuing this partnership. We'll take any questions.
Thank you very much.
Any questions?
No? So 28 students in the first month?
In the first month.
That's correct. Excellent.
And the hours, if I didn't say that, to start with, the hours are 9 to 12. There's a physician provider up here on site. We have a nurse full-time when the school is open.
Are you just limiting to the family of our community of Diman, or the public, should they need some services, they can utilize those resources independent of your facility here in Fall River?
So for the facility here at Diman, it's just for the students.
It would be tough to get the public, because then everybody would have to go through a query check and.
Got it.
Now, what they just discussed, there was a wonderful business after hours held at their facility on Quarry Street with a tour of the facility also. One of the things we talked about next was that everybody knows where it is in the building, but the students are still unsure. So we're going to have some in-person informational sessions especially for our freshmen and sophomore students who are going to be with us for at least the next 3+ years, and what services are actually offered by the clinic. So they know they're there. 28 students is a great start. We want to make it even bigger, and that's what the idea is, to expand it.
As far as students being seen by a physician, some students obviously have health insurance, some do not have health insurance. Are you in a position to be able to submit referrals for them to see outside agencies, like for, say, mental health or something like that? Can you send out a referral?
Yeah. So, great question, and I'm happy to send along the PowerPoint that we gave to the parents. I didn't include it in the packet today to try to be brief, but to give a little backstory, we're not here to take over the primary care of the students who already have primary care physicians. What we found when we started to do the community-based research is many of the students, to include the ones here at Diman, don't have insurance and don't have a PCP. And so what we did is we have our nurses actually able to help those students and families get insurance for those that need it, and then if they need a primary care physician, to be able to assign them a primary care physician. As far as working with the local pediatricians and practices in Fall River, if someone were to need a referral and they already had an established PCP, we would work with that PCP to get them the referral they need.
Excellent, thank you.
This is for our teachers too.
So that's a great question, and we've gone back and forth. Ideally, I would like to be able to service the teachers. Currently, we have a pediatric nurse practitioner that comes up a couple days a week. So to avoid confusion and just the logistics, right now, we're not offering it for.
So I think it'd be good for the flu shots or any other shots that they might need.
Yep, that's a great, and so as we looked into the fall, we've already talked about having a flu clinic, and if there's a COVID booster made available, to make sure that the faculty has access to that.
Good. How many students do you have signed up right now? I know you had 100, I think, something like that, I heard. What's the,
I wish I could give you an exact number on how many have turned in, but it's well over 100 students have turned in forms, well over. With a student population of 1,400, kind of discounting the seniors right now as they're 1 foot out the door towards graduation. We're focusing now on the freshmen and sophomores, and that's why I brought that up. We need to have more communication to the students, to bring home to the parents, to let them know the services are available.
might be a great, I'm sorry, might be a great thing to do when we have student night, when we have all the parents and new students coming in the auditorium, that we mention this, so the parents will understand a little bit more when you start sending home new emails and stuff like that.
Consider that done.
Now, when you say signed up, these are students who've submitted a demographic form with history to basically almost register to be seen?
We still require consent of the parents to be seen.
Okay.
And so ideally, they would do that ahead of time. That way it decreases the time between when they see the nurse and the actual clinic. Of the 28 students, I can report we had 4 of them that we got consent literally as they were done seeing the nurse and were about to see us. And we were able to get a hold of the parents, talk to them, explain to what we were going to do. And in all 4 cases, they were happy for us to see the students.
Excellent.
I will say I've talked to the 2 architects that are working on a new school, and I asked them to go down and see the space and see if there's a way of giving, like you have now, except a little bit more private, to the nurse's office who might be dealing with other students. So he's looking into the plans on that. I think he's talking to either you or to our principal about that. So I know Greg's already been down there, or Craig's been down there to look at it. I know they're a small space now, and they're already crying, but that's what it is.
Completely understand. We're happy for the space we have and excited for the new
Yeah,
building.
so hopefully the building's done. So we're putting in new space so you can't leave us. So that's why we're doing that.
It's been earmarked for you guys.
Very good, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for your support.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And moving on to the MSBA School Building Committee update.
Yes.
Biagio.
Well, outside of all the rain and the more rain that's coming this week, they're pumping a lot of water, but we have some more bids. We have 40% more bidding to go out. So the initial bids for the remaining major scopes have been received and de-scoped. Bidders have been issued the supplemental forms, documents of leveling that will be reviewed by the program team and prior to request being awarded by the school building committee. So they're working on that. That's why the school building committee was moved from the first Monday to April 22nd to give them time to get these RFPs all together so we have some approval to do. Construction, earthwork is underway, as you can see from Route 24. The soil processing is going well, and the west side of the wall is prepared for foundation. That will start in the next 2 weeks. Supportive excavation is completed. This will hold back the hill, as we've been talking about for a couple of weeks now. So that the foundation is going to be able to be installed. Utility coordination with utility companies is ongoing and progressing to support the project needs. Electrical has been completed. The new temporary pole work around the site has been done by National Grid. The project is trending to budget. We're at this point, we are on budget, but we still have 40% more to be bidded out. And and that on budget includes adding in the storage facility building, which is separate from the school, behind the school for the maintenance and for storage, and the football field along with the concession stand and media box. So that has already been put back into the project. Do you have any questions on that project?
All right, good. Moving on to MSBA project expenditures. Mr. Kitchen?
You have the February expenditure for Colliers. There is no March expenditure for $146,177.02. The March expenditure for KBA for services of $116,362.
All right, need a motion.
We need something from Suffolk.
Yeah, you're gonna get, there's another smaller one for $750 for Castle Cruise. That's a backup to it. But, and then Suffolk's March bill is $2,162,978.87. Actually, not bad.
2 million what?
Um,
And that's for March.
I don't see it on this as well.
It's on the,
Yeah, because I see 21,
Mr. DiBiase, it's on this, right here, on the AIA. Toward the end of your packet.
last sheet.
Yep.
I think the other material might be just backup for KBA.
It's on the right hand side.
oh, I see, yep, I got it right here.
All right, need a motion to approve the expenditures from.
I'll make that motion. Do you want the totals, or did you get them already, Elena? Okay. I'll make that motion to approve the Colliers, KBA, and Suffolk's bills and the secondary. Is this a secondary one for $750?
I believe it's a KBA supplemental, so I wouldn't worry about it if it's less than.
Yeah, less than
$750.
$1,000, so.
All right, so I have the motion, I need a second.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Great, thank you. Moving on, 3.1C, personnel. Mr. Bentley?
For personnel, we do have appointments that have been made. As you can see, we have several coaches in there, and we do have some long-term substitutes, which has been necessitated by a maternity leave, by 2 illnesses that's resulting in the teachers being out for the remainder of the year, and also for a replacement long-term sub who received permanent employment. Coming up then after that, we have advisory board appointments. And we have, the first one is for David Bellevue of the drafting program. The second one is Hannah Goulet, health assisting program. Brittany Oliveira, health assisting program. Laurie Medeiros of the medical assisting program. And Emma Shaker, medical assisting program. You do see for each of these that there is a write-up of their qualifications, and the recommendation is to appoint the individuals above as members of the identified program advisory boards for a term of 3 years.
Need a motion to approve?
I'll make that motion.
There's a
Oh, I'm
correction to
sorry.
that.
Yes.
It's Hannah Goulet and Brittany Oliveira from the LPN program.
What is that?
Oh, they're from the LPN program, not the health assisting?
Right, oh,
They're
that's the
sitting on
sitting
health
on the health
assistant.
system.
Yeah, they're gonna sit on
Okay,
the
that's
health
correct.
Okay, there's students in the LPN
Yes,
program.
but they're sitting on
Sitting on the health
assisting.
assisting program.
Yes.
Oh, that's good. Okay.
I have the motion to approve, need a second.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Good. Next, resignations. You do see that 3 individuals have resigned. Tyler Laguina, Elizabeth McPherson from a daytime program here, after school actually, and Debbie Pacheco as a district staffing coordinator. These do not need any action, they're for the committee's information.
All right, Dee, we got the student travel.
We do have 1 student travel request, and there is an accompanying letter right underneath your pink sheet, and it's from the Culinary Arts Program, out-of-state travel after hours, also requesting a field trip to the Chandler Mansion in Newport, Rhode Island, April the 29th, 3:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m., and funding for the cost of the trip and transportation has already been identified. So the recommendation is to approve the student travel request submitted by Culinary Arts Program for out-of-state after-hour field trip, Chandler Mansion in Newport, Rhode Island, April the 29th from 3:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. And again, the cost of the trip and the transportation, it's already been identified and put aside.
Need a motion to approve?
Motion made.
Need a second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Moving on to other matters, E, accepting the gifts.
For acceptance of gifts, I'm happy to report that I have several here. The first is from an anonymous benefactor, has made a donation of $1,900, and the intent of the donor is to award $100 to each of the OBS students from each of the vocational programs for this year. And the recommendation is to accept that donation of $1,900 from this anonymous benefactor and award the $100 to the OBS student from each of the vocational
Need a
programs.
motion on that?
Motion made.
Need a second? All in favor? Aye.
Second is from Mr. Jeffrey Marks, and he was a class of 1982 Diamond graduate. He owns Mallard Printing here from the city of Fall River. He has graciously donated the cost of a photo booth rental of $450, which is going to be used at Accepted Student Night. This will be the opportunity for accepted students and their mom or dads or whoever is with them to pop into the booth. They'll take 2 or 3 little pictures, it'll print it out, and it'll say words to the effect of Accepted Student Night, Diamond Bengal, and the date that'll be on it, a little keepsake for them. It was a
Need a
cost of
motion?
that, but Jeffrey Marks is a good benefactor, and he's also a member of the Diamond Bengal Foundation. I do want to mention that.
Need a
Make that
motion?
motion.
Need a second?
Second.
All in favor?
And the
Aye.
last one is from the Greater Fall River Development Corporation Educational Fund. They have awarded the Graphic Communications Program a $25,000 grant to purchase a benchtop UV printer, and the recommendation is to accept the $25,000 grant for graphic communications to buy the UV printer.
Need a motion
Make
to
that
approve?
motion.
Need a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And other matters, F, FY24 budget adjustment. Mr. Kitchen.
This is the follow-up on the information that you received at last month's meeting, that at the conclusion of our FY '23 year, our net school spending number was $29,397,728. Our required net school spending was $30,643,454. Therefore, the difference of $1,245,725 would have to be carried over to this year's budget, setting the budget for FY '24 at $32,086,682. And that would be to transfer the funds from the carryover to the extraordinary maintenance line, which is currently in arrear or in a deficit of $456,920.
All right. I have a motion to approve that.
All right, I'll make the motion to transfer $1,245,725 carryover funds to the extraordinary repairs, which will bring our budget for fiscal year 24-25.
No.
20,
24, FY
so 24, or for this year's budget.
Yep.
Complete our, oh, because of the,
Yep.
yes. So our total budget for this year, which will be ending June 30th, is $32,086,682.
I have the motion, now we need a second.
6,000.
It should have been $860,000. I wrote $860,000, but you said 86. I
It's
went,
right here.
All right, I have the motion, I got the second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you.
All right, G, monthly financial report, Mr. Kitchen.
Again, as I just specified, the largest deficit is in the extraordinary maintenance, which is for the purchase of some of the items for equipment and for maintenance and for instructional equipment. That's at a deficit of $456,920. Other than that, we had a meeting today with the department heads and vocational, and I informed them that they need to do some transfers to have them ready for the May meeting. They want to transfer some money next month to realign what their needs are going to be. So it's April, May, and we should close out pretty well.
Have we been buying items?
What I would like to try to invest in is 2 vans for athletics, because we don't have identified vans for primarily like baseball, softball, and they travel to short
Golf or
distances.
something.
Golf, but they would be, they refer to them as student activity vans, like senior citizen vans, I should say. Or, so they have a dual wheel in the back, and have an ability to not have 7D license to operate them.
It was like 13 passenger?
14.
14.
Yeah.
Do we have them in the, do we have money in the budget to cover those for this year?
Yeah. Yeah, we'll take it out of the extraordinary.
Okay.
Of the accounts, the account, I don't know if you would all look into it with the install account?
Yeah, we
Well,
discussed that last
yeah,
meeting.
I mentioned it to Mr. Machado, and he said, it's a good thing to have money.
Well, it's up to you if you want to still carry it, but.
No, we'll
it's-
carry it for a little bit. I really think what we could do is maybe we could utilize some of that for, if prom was going into a shortfall, or some of the student activity that was going into a shortfall, we could actually suck it into.
I want to use it in a good way.
Yeah, that's what I'm
It's there,
saying.
it's there.
So if it's,
Right,
you know, the kid,
absolutely.
for the most part, students buy some of the cloth and such, and the athletics buy the cloth, and so therefore we're getting money from within, and therefore, if we do it to offset some of the class expenses, it might be beneficial. Even if we're for DECA, or if it was for, you know, things that run into arrears, but are student activity based.
I agree.
Good. All right, any other questions on the budget? No, seeing none, thank you.
Thanks.
All right, moving on to H, expenditures, Mr. Kitchen.
So we've already covered our MSBA expenditures. We have an expenditure for Balfour for the yearbook at $16,000. The Hilton Chicago is for the BPA travel for the accommodations at $16,847.10. Printer Pro is what we use for our central toner supplies. So we buy centrally for all of our printers in the building. B&G is for a piece of equipment that we're replacing for in the culinary arts, for like an above-counter toaster. It's like a warmer toaster and such, so that they can keep product warm. Sousa Branco is for the wiring of the rooftop unit that we installed above the gymnasium. Ritchie & Son is for metal fabrication. There are 3 items, and I can tell you what they are shortly. One is a 400 amp. That's a Sousa Branco. One is a shear, power shear for $19,000. One is a V8 station roller former for $24,500, and the other one is another power roller of a different degree, 180 at $36,750. All of those Ritchie purchases are made out of the Skills Capital grant of the $1 million that they have. So that's a reimbursement grant. Skills Capital is for the kids attending states at $76,000, and the Wyndham is an estimate on the senior prom for the accommodations down in Newport, $45,000.
Okay, any questions?
And that comes out of the senior.
Well, senior prom raises their own money for ticket sales and such, and unless they raise money, they offset that a little bit.
Questions, comments? Seeing none, moving on, need a motion to approve.
I'll make that motion. to
Need a
approve those.
second?
Second?
All in favor? Aye, opposed? Okay.
Those bills.
All right, Jay, House Building Subcommittee report.
Okay.
So on the house building, you all have in front of you the community projects that have happened, that we've gone through. No, I don't think you got it, did you?
The project's in there.
Oh, you got it, yeah. So, anybody have any questions on any of the community projects? Maria did bring up that they're having a Somerset's recreation. They built at the softball/baseball field. They redid the roof and some windows and siding and other work at the concession stand, and they've invited Diman on April 19th to their start of the baseball season to attend, to thank our students for their hard work. Any other community project, anybody have any questions on? It's a lot going on, it's a lot to read. With that, we're going to move right to the 24-25 house building. I must say that Maria and her staff have worked hard to get together a house for us. They have the blueprints, do we have to use ours? So they must have to use ours. So there's a house, this committee, out of 2 projects, recommended for the Diman students to build a house at Lot 9, Tess Abigail Lane in Swansea, Mass. It's a 2,300 square foot house, single floor. There was a couple of things that Maria and her staff redid, like the pitch of the roof, to make sure our students can be able to do it without any issues. And this committee has made the recommendation for our students next year to build this home. Anybody have any questions?
The only, you might want to just mention the fact that it went from
2,800 down to the 2,312. You see in front of you, it says 2,800 ranch. It's actually 2,312 to bring it more in line with our maximum of 2,000. Anybody have any questions? With that,
need a motion to approve the project.
I'll make that motion, Mr. Chairman.
Need a second?
Second?
All in favor? Aye.
And we had discussion that she worked with our business manager and our attorney. Discussion about the revision in the house building rules and regulations. If you see in front of you.
Just for the committee's edification, it was mostly, we now looked at the insurances that we had a problem with our last project, and we sort of brought it in conformity with what actually is going to be required, so the homeowner now can know what's going to be expected of them moving forward in the project. Maria did a good job. Mr. Kitchen dealt with our insurance people and got some other sample provisions, so I think we're good now. I don't think we should have any problems moving forward with getting the contract like we did in the last one. I think we should be fine. So I'm recommending that we approve the revised rules and regulations as submitted to the committee.
Need a motion on that?
I'll approve that. I'll take that motion, excuse me.
Need a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
And then the only other thing, we had the discussion, but that's going to be worked out between the owner and our attorney and Ms. Torres, is the program contract, which the attorney handles.
I would just say, make a motion to allow myself, Mrs. Torres and Mr. Kitchen to enter into negotiations with the respective owner of the house.
Okay.
And we hope to have a
Make that
contract
motion.
before the board in the May meeting for signature. I don't anticipate it's going to be a problem this time.
Okay, I'll make that motion.
I need a second. Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right.
Thank you,
Moving on
Maria.
to,
Thank you.
Recording in progress.
moving on to KLPN Subcommittee Report, Mr. Began.
This is the house.
We had a subcommittee meeting earlier this evening, which was very good. We were providing financial information regarding the program and where we stand. As it sits right now, we are in a little bit of a deficit, looking at FY '23. There is a difference from the previous year as the COVID funds dried up that came in from the CARES 2 and 3 programs through HERF. However, we still look very promising. Our director's done a great job in getting enough applicants in the seats as we had planned. She can give a report after if we would like. As far as changes, our tuition, we wanted to keep right around the same while we are sitting a little higher than everybody else around us. We found that we do offer financial aid, which some of the other programs locally do not. So while they offer a little bit lower tuition, they don't offer financial aid. So we're seeing many of these students come to us because we allow them to get financial aid, whereas they can't afford the full tuition at the other facilities. So it does give us an advantage in that standpoint. It was recommended to do a few increases with the entrance exam fees, nominal increases from $90 to $110. The application fee from $25 to $50, and the seat fee, which actually holds your seat in the class when you stated I want to go to this class, increased from $350 to $500, which is still substantially lower than many of these other programs that are making them charge $1,000 and upward to hold their seat. So I would like to make a recommendation to vote to increase these.
As submitted?
As submitted for the entrance exam fees, application fee, and seat fee increases.
Okay. I got
Mr. Chairman, I just wanted to ask, since we have the director here, is this going to affect, I mean, is this going to affect you getting them in here before we even start the process of financial aid and stuff? I mean, we're going from 90 to 110. We always try to keep things reasonable so we can get them in here, and then we can.
The 90 to the 110 is actually because of the cost of the test itself. We have to pay for the test for the exam, so currently it went up to 90, and they plan on bringing it up again. So this would not be for this year because we've already started the admission process, so this would be for next year. But I start early in September, so this would take effect for the following year in September. And as far as the seat fee goes, raising it up to $500 is still well under what most schools are doing, around $1,000 to $2,000 as their seat fees. So we're still going to be well under with that. And these fees don't typically affect them, it's more of the tuition. So these fees really don't have an effect on who I get in for admissions, it's more of the actual tuition.
I just, with demographically,
Yes,
these other two are pulling from a different demographic.
yes,
So the fees are easier for them to pay than it is for our local people. That's why
yeah,
I hate to raise anything, especially on a program that is still struggling to get into where we are actually above instead of losing money. So I don't want to discourage people from not coming here.
yeah. I don't think it'll be an issue, like the application fee, $25 is really, actually hasn't changed in a long time, and it's really cheap to do. For all the process that goes into that, it should be more money. It's not just they drop off their application, we have to do follow-up, getting transcripts, getting all the things that go with it. And I really don't think this will deter anybody from coming into the program. I think the bigger thing is the tuition itself, and by remaining the same, it will be helpful to those in the area.
Any other questions? Mr. DiBiase?
I think if the director is comfortable with it, then I'm comfortable with it.
All right, there's a recommendation of the subcommittee. So I have the motion, I need a second.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay.
The only other thing we did discuss was moving forward, obviously, looking at the budget, looking at the numbers. We have 2 years left on our lease in the other building, Duval Street, is, when that's coming up to the end, to look at options, whether to potentially make some adjustments over there, or look elsewhere, decide where we can maybe make some changes, save some money, and benefit the program.
Did you give it any thought in your subcommittee about going part-time day, part-time night, and have it that way how much the girls have to pay, or foreman, the student has to pay would be less, that they're only paying half this year and half next year.
We did discuss it. Currently, she does run a full-time day program as well as a part-time program. She has more, we have more applicants for the full-time program currently than we see for the part-time program. While there is, I think, a need for something like that to look at down the road, maybe a nighttime part-time program for people who do work during the day. Right now, I just think we're in a stabilization phase of this program, and I think it's been on the rise for the last year and a half, and I think we should watch it for a little while longer and see what we can do.
Let's leave it the way it is for a while.
And the lease is still, we have 2 more years left.
2 more years. 2 more years.
So next year would be the.
We'll start looking. We'll start looking
Okay,
and make some decisions.
all right. Is that all? Any questions, comments? Saying none? Moving on to 3.1, other matters, policy subcommittee report, Mr. DiBiase.
We had several policies that we discussed. One was brought up last month at the meeting about the bullying prevention intervention plan. If you look at page 3, that's been highlighted. The plan recognizes that certain students may be more vulnerable to bullying or harassment based on the actual perceived characteristics, including race, color, religion, ancestry, natural origin, and their sex, status, homeless, academic status, gender identity, expression, physical appearance, pregnant or parenting status, sexual orientation, mental, physical, developmental, or sensory disability, or by association with a person who is perceived to have one or more of these characteristics. So this is something that I'll have Mr. Bentley.
I think you just named everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say.
We're all there.
Everybody has one in front of them, so basically, the highlights are the changes, right?
Yes.
Yeah, came about as a tiered-focused monitoring audit that was done related to the Department of Education. And they came in and they looked at the various policies we have, and they just said, although ours was good, it could be actually more extensive. This is their recommended language to include in our bullying prevention policy, so we added it in.
All right.
Extensive and inclusive.
Very extensive, very inclusive, very complete. We're happy we have it in there.
Okay. So I will say that the subcommittee on all these policies that we're going to go over were approved by the subcommittee to be brought to this committee here. Do we want to go through them all? And if there's any questions, so we can just approve them all at once, Mr. Chairman?
I think you can take them all, Mr. Chairman, except I would just say that the one that you changed, some language in the non-union employee contract,
Yeah.
I would make
that
you
separate.
know about that.
All right.
That's the one we took out the year, or 183 days and 222 days. And
So we'll
we'll
change
that. We changed that.
So, that was the first one, the renaming of the Diamond Policy KDC to KDC-1 is just a MASC policy change, that's what they call it, so we just wanted to be more exact with that one. There's no change in the policy. These following policies were all changed by MASC, and we've adopted all of them below. Use of electronics managing by school committee members, universal free school meals, school nutrition program, charge policy, non-union employee contracts we are going to take separate, access to digital resources, use of technology in instruction, acceptable use of digital resources. We're also going to take the co-op education program separate. And then the following on the bottom, these are all new from the MASC policies that we've never had before. But it's the district's security relating to technology, data and records retention, personal use of technology, student use of technology in schools, community use of digital resources, and district website and social media. All to do with security and what's been going on in the world with people being hacked. So all of those policies I just named, Mr. Chairman, I'll be looking to approve.
Okay, so I need a motion to approve those.
So moved.
Need a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Now you want to go on
Yeah,
to
we're
the
gonna revisit.
non-union?
Yeah, we're gonna revisit the one, if you could turn to the non-union. All right, go by it.
But it is the one, just so the committee member, it is the one that's proposed that you would be looking at. It says proposed in your package, and what was changed was we were no longer referencing the school year as 10-month employees are just gonna be listed as 10-month employees. We are gonna eliminate and strike from the policy 183 days on both the paraprofessionals and the security officers. And on the 12-month individual contracts, we're only going to reference it as a 12-month individual contract and stricken 222-day work year. And I just want to highlight that while this policy is in place, there is language that unless otherwise amended by vote of the school district committee, which means you can amend these. And secondarily, the one highlight that I want to bring to the board's attention, because we know we have stricken out from the prior policy any reference to any correlation to the DTA contract, like we had a problem not too long ago. That has now been eliminated from the proposed agreement, so there will be no more confusion. The policy will be the policy and will affect non-union employee contracts. We will no longer have to deal with any, well, the DTA contract says this or the ASPE contract says this. That's been eliminated.
So with the non-union employee contracts, Mr. Chairman, it's just the first line on the 10-month employees and the security to the 183, and then the 12-month at 222. This is due to vacation time. They've done it varying times that they are here due to how many weeks vacation they get.
Okay, I need a motion to approve those.
Motion made?
Need a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
The co-op education program, just so that the board knows, through the chair and through Mr. DiBiaseo, we are going to be voting on what's in your package, and highlighted areas in red. There's no change from that. If anybody has any questions as to what was changed, it is what is highlighted in red. There's no further changes.
Any questions?
Mr. Bentley, do you have anything on this that you'd like to share?
No, as explained, it's mostly just cleaning this up, having the title be corrected to have the cooperative education coordinator, is what he is, but also to recognize that we do have students who do work out of state, but this committee has a policy that students travel out of state needs committee approval. That's now been included in the parent and guardian permissions, which gets signed by them and then signed by myself, indicating it's out of state. I would bring that over to the school committee for their information. Currently, we do have 16 students who are out of state right now working on co-op, and that number's going up.
Awesome.
Very good. All right, need a motion to approve.
Motion made?
Need a second? All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Okay, superintendent report?
Yes, very brief, it's in your packet there. As far as the admission, that's perhaps mostly on your mind. On the admissions that we did have, everybody has been accepted that we need to get into the building. We have reached our goal of 385 students. To the committee's information, though, there were 773 applications for the 385 positions. Shows that Diman obviously is a well sought after school. There is information there in your packet to show you the breakdown of where they came from by community.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
So the last time we met, we discussed, we still hadn't heard from 100, and then we were gonna send out a second request. I believe Mr. Chairman talked about that.
Yes.
Did that get done?
That has been done. The day after the last school committee meeting, I went to the guidance department. The clerical there immediately started on carrying out what was those that we hadn't heard from. They were called. If they said no, we went to the next list, and we went on and on and on until we get to 385. So that was done.
Awesome. So April 9th to be great.
Right now, we are stopped because we are at the 385. The only thing we can do at this point now is wait for students who, and we have an accepted student night coming up, so they may back out. Then we have April testing for placement coming up, they may back out then. Once that happens, then we start going back to who's on that list, we need to call them into the building. But right now, we are at 385.
Any questions or comments?
The next is the enrollment report. Again, we're staying very strong with 1428 students in the high school. There is a breakdown there also for you, or attachments rather for you, I'm sorry, to tell you where they're coming from. And there, we heard tonight really about the LPN program, 23 full-time, 17 part-time, a total of 40 students. The last report is that of a cooperative education report. As you know, we have Mr. Marcison is our co-op coordinator. He currently has 185 students active on the co-op, and each day he is clearing out more to go on.
Very good. Thank you. Moving on to calendar of events.
On the calendar events, I do want to point out that this Thursday is the Spring Advisory Board, and it actually begins at 5 p.m. In our student cafeteria. You're welcome to join us for lasagna and some salad. And then they start moving into their advisory board individual reports. But that is on this Thursday, April the 4th.
And then the week of the 15th is school vacation?
The week of the 15th is school vacation, correct. The building will be closed on the 15th, but it will be operational 16 through 19.
And moving on to May, our next scheduled school committee meeting is the 9th, but see if we can come up with a change.
The state OPS banquet.
April 11th.
Are you somewhere?
No.
What's that?
Are you somewhere?
I am.
Okay.
It's
all about Paul.
Yeah, it is about him, because I certainly don't want to take over. Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
can we get back to you, Elena?
Yeah.
Can you send out a message on tomorrow, the next day, and give us a few days, because I have, before and after that week, I got stuff going on as well, so.
I do want to say to the school committee members that May 16th, which is a Thursday, that is the Diman Outstanding Vocational Student Awards Banquet.
Yeah.
You will all be invited to that, and hoping that you can make it. It's an exciting night to see our students and hear their accolades.
And the
as they move
15th
forward.
is the honor, National Honor Society, right?
The NHS is going to be the 15th.
Yeah, and that's where in the
That's the night
auditorium?
before, that is in the school's auditorium.
What
So-
time is that? No.
That's a 6 o'clock start.
And what time is the outstanding student start?
The outstanding vocational start.
5:30. At White's. You'll be getting that.
Just for planning purposes.
Yeah, so it doesn't
It's a
leave
busy
us
time of the
much.
year.
Yeah. All right, Elena, send something out. Okay, anything within the 48 hours?
No.
Nothing.
We do have a need for executive session, Mr. Chairman.
Okay,
Pursuant to Massachusetts General Law, Chapter 38, Section 21A, Paragraph 3, to discuss strategy with respect to collective bargaining or litigation in open meeting may have a detrimental effect on the bargaining or litigating position of the public body, and the chair so declares what he does, which is AFSCME. We discuss AFSCME, the DAA and DTA contract negotiations. There will be no votes. We will not have executive session, there will be no votes.
okay. Need a motion to go into executive session?
Motion made?
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Roll call?
Mr. Jennings?
Yes.
Mr. DiBiaseu?
Yes.
Mr. Beegan?
Yes.
Ms. Menard?
Yes.
Father J? Dr. Nara?
Yes.
I will say, I used mine.
Recording stopped.
All right, good night.
Good night, Maria, thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Good night.
Good night, Maria. I'll talk to you about that.
Ryan and I will tell
Yes.
you.
Contract, we should be fine,
Every
though.
day.
Yeah, I'll start working on that tomorrow.
Thank you.
Instead of me
Good
bringing
night.
it
You
forward.
can have any